While across the country, debate over controversial monuments continues. Confederate statues, many standing for over 100 years, are now coming down. At the same time, we are seeing the vandalism of some religious symbols. Correspondent Mark Irons reports.
Statues of Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis, and Stonewall Jackson are among the Confederate monuments being removed across the country.
I think it's a healthy debate to be having, to sort of think about the monuments.
Dr. Stephen West, a history professor at the Catholic University of America, is a Civil War expert. He says Confederate leaders were explicit about the reasons they rebelled against the U.S.
So if you listen to the Confederates themselves, they're absolutely clear. It's about slavery.
Statues of Confederate President Jefferson Davis have come down in places like Kentucky and Virginia.
Jefferson Davis says that slavery is ordained by God Almighty and sanctioned by the Bible.
The controversy over monument removals goes beyond Confederate symbols. Protesters tried to topple a statue of Andrew Jackson in front of the White House. The 7th president implemented policies to remove Native Americans from their land. Even statues of Abraham Lincoln have sparked anger in places like Boston and D.C., where an 1876 statue memorializes the president's Emancipation Proclamation to free slaves.
The federal government has now placed fencing around this monument after critics called for its removal. They say it shows a lack of equality with a freed slave on his knees beneath the standing President Lincoln. But those in favor of keeping it say it was funded by former slaves after the Civil War.
Dr. West believes public debate and removal of controversial statues is acceptable, but he's opposed to their destruction by mobs. Around the country, statues of other historical figures have come down as well, including statues of Christopher Columbus and St. Junipero Serra. Father James Caroli is the rector of Cathedral Prep School and Seminary in Queens, New York, the last high school seminary in the country. Last week, a statue of the Virgin Mary was vandalized outside the school.
I think it shows the state that we are in as a country.
And over the weekend in Boston, a statue of Mary was burned.
We are in a very divisive time in our country. And when we focus upon our differences, it will certainly lead to ignorance and hatred.
Father Caroli says there is no reason to believe motivations for destroying Confederate statues and the Virgin Mary are the same or every incident is connected. He does hope religious symbols will be seen as more than historical.
These statues are used as an instrument to help people have an encounter with God.
In Washington, Mark Irons, EWTN News Nightly.